Alrighty. Good morning, afternoon, or whatever it may happen to be. And you know what? Lately, there's been a few requests going around of, you know what? If you don't have a whole lot of time to do the whole streaming thing or whatever else, why not do that whole review project you were talking about for a while? So, okay, let's go ahead and give that a little bit of a try. Because this particularly weird game here, I originally downloaded with the express intent of just kind of laughing at it, because I thought this would be... I expected the worst out of this. Like, I had zero expectations of anything good coming out of it. And, because when you think, okay, when you think Metal Gear games, right? Your first thing that comes to mind is probably not, you know what, I wonder what would happen if they decided to make it a trading card game. It's not really a trading card game as much as, like, a card-based SRPG of sorts. And I have to say, of all things, it kind of makes me think of, dang, I loaded the wrong save file here. It kind of makes me think of, what's it? Of the DS port of Jagged Alliance or something. Like, it's a really weird game. Actually, yeah, this is the completely wrong file here, but, like, if you ever wondered what MGS would look like if you made it a strategy game, yeah, you get weirdness like this, where everyone's just, like, equipping body armor items and deflecting off each other. But first of all, let's go ahead and go back to the intermission and actually load the right save file here. Cause yeah, despite the fact that I thought that this would suck, I expected it to suck. There was no reason that it shouldn't suck. In many ways, it makes me think of Ghost Babel on the Game Boy there, where they just basically took something that had no reason to be good and just made it work. So what is it exactly? So, like I said, it's basically a stealth optional strategy RPG, for lack of a better term. Every turn, you get cards, you just move around, you equip some stuff, you just use other stuff. So, like, for example, you start off with your FAMAS and your, where... I don't even know where the starter pistol is right now. You basically start off with a number of movements and options and whatever else, and then just over time you pick up more stuff. So, like, for example, you start off with a rifle and pistol that you just use. Later on, you get stuff like this or this, where you equip them into slots, and then, like, from there, you basically upgrade how many slots you have, and then, depending on where they are in this grid, different items react to each other differently. So, honestly, the best way that I find to visualize it, especially for the type of deck that I like to build for this one, is just like, each one of these has a chance to react whenever you're attacked by something. So literally all I did was just slap evasion cards all over everybody, which have a 75% chance to activate, and then just have them strap a bunch of pistols to themselves, which each have 20% chance of reacting. So just suddenly they just start pulling out pistol after pistol as a reaction fire thing. It's weird that this works. And we're actually going to go... trying to think what a good place would be, because I haven't actually finished this game yet. So we're just gonna... whatever, let's just go to residential quarters here. If you go back to any previous map, you just basically get a random thing. What the hell is... oh, that's a tree! I thought there was, like, some monstrosity standing behind Snake there. But yeah, you get different allies throughout it. Based off the cards, it's my understanding that you actually get several of them, aside from the lady that you're kind of expected to start with. It's actually funny, because as the game goes on, you get more and more references to other stuff from the series. And honestly, I thought it was getting stale by the time it got past the MGS2 cards. It's like, you know what, the next one's going to be MGS3, they're probably going to introduce the rocket launcher. Sure enough, no. And they're like, yeah, what if we had Ghost Babel cards in here, or, like, MSX cards in here? How would that work out for you? And, yeah, it's surprisingly good, is the thing. It's like, for example, this rifle right here, it's actually an equipable counter weapon. However, you can fire it and attach a whole bunch of stuff to it. God, this is such a weird... oh, like, there we go. It just friggin' bullet dodges. Now he's probably gonna... oh, he's not gonna counter. He had the option to counter. It's... honestly, it's just easier to show what's going on here, because this is the bulk of it. You have your usual stealth options that you'd see in a game like this. You have all your usual Metal Gear options, however, stuff like climbing and hanging and whatever else actually requires you to have particular moves equipped and whatever else. And yeah, it kind of looks a little bit hilarious when somebody gets attacked. But the idea is, yeah, you're just going and countering, or going and like equipping all these different things to try and react to each other. Accidentally bumped a cord there, so lost connection for a second. But yeah, like, if you wanted to just do a tank build, you absolutely can do that. So like, plot-wise, I just got this character back. So for example, we have basically them using haste, on top of insta-healing themselves on top of this other stuff here. You got your upgraded rations from back in the older games, because apparently they healed a higher percentage of your health back then or something. You've got basically every tool you can think of from the series if you manage to randomly roll the card for it, because anything from any of the other games, you have the potential chance to just draw the card for it. So, for example, one of my favorite things has just been keeping. I got the Nikita from MGS2, which is just basically a remote-controlled rocket launcher. And technically speaking, it's supposed to end your turn and whatever else. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, these counters, they can just keep going back and forth. It's kind of like Disgaea in that regard. As long as you keep rolling the numbers, they'll just keep going. But yeah, you can do really bizarre stuff. Like, for example, you take that 10-shot rifle from before, and then you combine an insta-kill ability to it, as well as a like 100% hit chance. But for example, this guy from Police Knots, of all things. Like, just basically anything Konami made around this point is potentially in this. It's just, it has no reason to be good. And sure enough, this is just way better than I ever would have expected. And yeah, if you're just feeling cathartic, you just go back to any old map and you just suddenly have it be a brawl. It's surprisingly fun. They give you prizes for doing stuff sneakily, but you don't really have to. Still have all your melee options, like if you just run up to a guy and you basically can just get a free melee attack off. It's neat. It's neat. You just constantly draw cards. Like, for example, this character. At first it seems like she would be the better one because she has more actions available, but this also means she burns through more cards, which also means that her overall stack of cards is lower at any given point. If somebody gets knocked below one card, they basically automatically pass out. It's just kind of overexerting herself constantly. Just picked up this thing a little bit ago. I'm not... How does this... Comes ready to fire, 10 cost after equipping... Sweet. Alright, well, apparently we just get a friggin' solar cannon. Sure. Get another card here that lets you move 8 blocks. Like, I will say the movement system is a little bit weird because you see that stuff's getting grayed out whenever you move. You kind of lock into that movement the second that you select it, and you kind of gotta run around stairs, so that's a little janky. But whatever, it's cool. And they give you the little, if you want to have little cutscenes for every one of these every time you use them. This game is so weird, it has no reason to be good. Also, I guess they did a pretty lazy port of the Japanese version, because, I mean, all of the little mini cutscenes are still in Japanese, and the controls are actually still in Japanese. Oh, and by the way, the AI absolutely gets cheap cards. Like, the obligatory Cyborg Ninja from every game in the series, they're basically just an illusionist attack card. Like, it's just... It's so weird that this works. This has no reason to work. Why is it so good? Let's see if there's a guy in here. Come on, tell me there's someone in here. I want to try out this friggin' solar cannon. Alright, Oh, it's still charging? Weird. Alright. I guess eat a ration, why not? Like, I couldn't think of any better way to do this review here, because just look at this. What is this? How? What is this an RPG? Like, is this an SRPG? Because personally, I feel like it plays like one. Feels like, I don't know, some weird mix of... I almost want to say, like, Felseal and Disgaea or something. Let's see. Oh, that's an equip card. I couldn't figure out if that was a use or equip card earlier. Alright, so... can I use the thing now? Yes. I don't even know what this is from. Why is it like this? Oh man, I just love it, you know? I seriously expected to just laugh at this thing, but I am honestly loving the hell out of it. Haven't even beaten it, don't even care. The story makes 0 sense whatsoever, and I would not expect anything less. Like, it is just... The title makes perfect sense. Like, I don't know if they were on acid or what, because this entire game is just an acid trip. And if it just ends with, like, Snake passed out in a dumpster after you just tried drugs for the first time or something, I wouldn't even be surprised. It would be absolutely sensible for this game. It does get a little tedious sometimes, but you just kind of... Ooh. That seems handy. I don't even know what this is from. Whatever that is. I guess police knots or something? I don't know. I don't know! Speaking that dang Nintendo language, I don't know. But yeah, the balance of all of it honestly seems really jank in the early game. Like, it feels especially strange when you come in with the FAMAS and the USB. Because the USB is silence, sure, but one of the best ambush moves you can do in the game is literally just run up with the very not silenced assault rifle and just pop somebody 6 times in the back of the head. Yeah, the funny thing is, despite being a stealth game, the actual AI is incredibly dumb. Like, amazingly dumb. Also, I just realized the solar cannon, you can apparently use that multiple times. Usually as soon as you use something once, it's done, but sure enough, there it is. Weird. Anyway, so I guess main takeaway here is, I don't know, it's good, try it. I even got like a regen move over here. Basically, anything you wanted from an SRPG is here. Anything you wanted from a Metal Gear game is here. It is technically the exact mix of both. Couldn't tell you who did this or why. Well, I could tell you I accidentally just knocked the wire away now. Hang on, let me get this fixed real quick. That's annoying. Sorry about that. There we go. It's fixed. And if you're wondering, yeah, you can actually skip these. Because they do get a little annoying. And some of the maps aren't exactly super conducive to, well, to being terribly fun. But, I mean, for the parts where they're actually supposed to be there, they make sense. Which really doesn't explain anything, does it? For some reason the game is weird about sequence breaks. Like, at multiple times I could kind of see where they were going with it, and decided to try and sequence break it. It wasn't really having it. Alright, let's see. Like, for example, this particular map, there's a pretty obvious ambush that ends up happening. So I was like, okay, I'll get all these crazy attack cards in there and whatever else, and we'll just, you know, beat the entire ambush that you're supposed to lose there. And yeah, that technically happened, although bizarrely, instead of the actual boss being there like they were in the cutscene, it was just this rando guy with a bag over his head. Not entirely sure why, but there it is, I guess. All right. Also, I'm actually not sure how a lot of these movement cards work. Like, I have ones for hanging and climbing and whatever else. That said, I haven't actually been able to get them to work. They might not work. I might just be dumb. Both are equally possible. But I just wanted to kind of show off this weirdness if anybody wondered what it looked like. Because, honestly, I never hear this game come up for any reason whatsoever. That's probably just because, honestly, who goes trolling around for old PSP games, wondering if they're just diamonds in the rough there. But yeah, if you're ever curious, if you're looking, like, if you have a Vita or a PSP, and you're just thinking, you know what, I want some weird strategy game just to try something out. You know what, 2020 has been a year where basically anything might as well happen. So why can't Metal Gear be a strategy game? You know, if that's your mindset right now, you might find this amazing. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of the early impression of this thing kind of lends itself to this image of just kind of being low effort. And I say that it does that because, okay, the thing that struck out to me the most is the artwork. Because the game has had very consistent artwork. You can even see the fact that you might have noticed it back in the menu. Snake's artwork in this one is different from all of the cards that feature him. And at first I thought, you know, that they just must have gotten the B team to do this one or something, which, yeah, they probably did. I'm actually 90% certain it was probably at least some of the people that did douched-out. But I have nothing to back that up because I didn't look into it whatsoever, but that's my theory anyway. But what is it? Like for example, the fact that you can draw weapons from that game in particular. Does anybody else get weirdly nostalgic for the weird red outline art from that game? I don't know. I don't know if they do. Alright, let's go ahead and slap this onto this thing. Which is funny, because you can slap all these different effects onto a certain weapon type. And, well, once you do, it basically means that your weapon starts to rot away, of all things. But you could potentially have a whole bunch of interesting effects that suddenly take place. And so it uses this, what it calls the cost system. So this little tick up that everybody's doing. Alright, what do I want to do here? Let me go up this ladder real quick, because there's that guy that's coming around, and I think he wants a rocket launcher. Just feels like something he'd be looking for. Something that he's missing in his day. Yeah, early on in the game, they actually limit how many cards you can carry. I don't think... I'm trying to think if, I don't think there have been any expansions since then. So I believe that's the only time that happens. Oh yeah, so what I was talking about the artwork, there's a reason for it. As in, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a whole head trip kind of situation, as the story goes in some really weird directions. Alright. Ooh, that is a lot of numbers. There we go. Or like right here, potentially there's a stack of 2 different cards that could give this guy 6 different actions if used at the same time. But that's not necessarily a good idea. So there's a whole lot of setup, a whole lot of different potential stuff going on. I think I'm just gonna finish off this one and then probably call it good. Because, yeah, we'll say the eliminate everybody missions are kind of an odd duck. Because they don't exactly always indicate where you're supposed to be going. So I will say these particular ones, there's always that one guy wandering around somewhere that you can just never find. Is this gonna be the last guy? Nope, there's no one there. There he is! There's the last guy. So again, fairly similar to Ghost Babel in that regard, because it actually had these same types of missions. And yeah, similar issue. So best option here, just use this thing to turn. Yes, you have to spend an entire turn to turn. That is a weird way of putting it. Whoops. Yeah, I kind of screwed that one up. This is a weird game. A weird game of weird mechanics. Definitely janky. Definitely bizarre. Definitely don't expect it to make any sense whatsoever. But dang it, it's fun. I guess it's fun in a more laid-back sense. Rude. Yeah, this guy never had any of this stuff before. It's actually funny how, well, not even funny necessarily as much as, they get really, really upgraded as time goes on. Also, last little note, look at this little message at the very end. Why is it so weirdly positive? This whole depressing story going on with this one. And apparently that was Speedy. However they figured that was Speedy. Yep, weirdly positive. Really positive. And that'll be that. So, yeah. I guess this is a review. Or whatever else, you know. This is a strange game, and it's very fun. And also, for some reason, it uses the Japanese control scheme. Not sure why. But yeah. What's this? Reduces all costs of all cars by half. Oh, okay. I have no idea what is this from? Whatever the hell Idea Spy is. Okay, I don't know. Actually, wait, there's 5 pages to that one. Okay? I don't know, Japan's weird, man. Anywho, so, that's that. Have yourself a good one. Hope it was at least interesting. And, yeah, bye.